Could you please both introduce yourself?
My name's Tom.
And I'm Chris, and we're in a band called Editors.
The Editors from Birmingham, is that right?
Based in Birmingham, yeah. I mean, none of us are actually from Birmingham.
None of you are?
No, absolutely not. I mean, if you listen to this in English, then you'll be lacking a Brummie accent. It's a very strong kind of accent, like Ozzy Osbourne kind of thing. So people get a bit disappointed.
Okay, but you're not now. You're based in Birmingham, then. Okay, where are you from? How did you guys meet? Can you give a short history of the band? Yeah,
of course. We all met at university, kind of as friends. There was a place kind of near Birmingham called Stafford. It's like 40 minutes away. And we were all doing the same course. We were doing music technology, which is kind of production and engineering and stuff. We basically spent 3 years deciding that we didn't want to do that.
But you didn't finish it?
No, we did. We graduated to varying levels of success. We all kind of somehow passed, even though we were kind of, by the end of it, we were really kind of focused in on the band, and we achieved enough in that kind of space of time to decide that we were all going to locate in the same place and give the band a go and get full-time jobs, which is what happened. Okay.
So now the band, the editors, not the editors, just editors, is now the full-time job.
Yeah, I mean, after we moved to Birmingham, after we graduated, it took us a year and a half to get a deal that we were happy with, and a selection of songs which were good enough and be good as a band to make a record and get records out. And so here we are. Yeah, I mean, we were in talks with lots of different people. We eventually signed to a small independent label in the UK called Kitchenware, because we're there's lots of kind of schools of thought, but for a band like us, we didn't think it particularly healthy to try and sign to a major label with all the money kind of shoved in your throat, and there can be a lot of pressure if you don't sell X amounts of records. So the people at Kitchenware were predominantly massive fans. They agreed with our kind of vision for the future. So basically what we're trying to do now is build the building blocks or foundations to build a career out of music and a body of work that we can be proud of at the end of it. So we've done everything we can to kind of avoid hype for no reason. So things have been growing naturally.
Our one subject here is like hypes, English hype, so we're going to be back on that.
Okay, so we'll leave that for now. But yeah, things are growing very nicely. We're on a third single in the UK, and our album's about to come out here and Europe, in UK. So
it is already out in England.
No, it's out at the end of July, same time as it is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Did you have any reactions already?
The reactions so far have been very good, but we just started getting dribs and jabs back. So the only reactions we've had so far from tour, we've toured twice, and every tour's been better than the last one. Every show's been better than the last one. Predominantly what we're about is playing live, and we put everything we can do into doing that. So
yeah, you're a singer, but when I heard the records, I'm like, oh man, this band look like it's been around for more than 10 years already. It sounds so solid.
Oh,
and your voice is great.
Well, thank you very much.
Not like licking your ass or something, but it is. You have a really deep voice, like a really grown-up voice.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of. Some of the bands I was into when I was younger and starting to writing songs, things like Radiohead and Jeff Buckley and stuff like that, and I can't sing like those guys. I don't have a particularly high registered voice, and it's learning to use the tools that you've got, and my voice is pretty much a baritone. It's a baritone voice, and it's and that period of time that we were learning to write songs and becoming a band, it's about Chris obviously learning how to play his guitar in a certain way that he likes, and the bass lines, and it's the same with my voice. It's a tool. It's part of our sound, and I had to learn how to use it. And hopefully I had them.
Yeah, I think so. But
that was why we were really lucky that we had, as much as it was frustrating, we had a good year and a bit, sort of not getting signed and sort of like,
just fool around a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And as much as it was really frustrating because we all had day jobs and we were all getting frustrated when we were going to rehearsals and stuff. It's like, when's this going to happen? We want it now and all this. Let's just get enough money so we can quit our jobs and just do this. And it was
but a lot of bands really want to do that too. Like, okay, we want to go for it, but when does it come? But when did it come then?
Well, it's sort of like when it was all very, very ready, when we were ready to do it,
You recorded yourselves?
No, we kind of like had the basis of our album kind of written, kind of at least like 9 or 10 of the songs anyway, and a few B-sides, and we've already kind of developed a little bit of a reputation as an unsigned band of being a good live band. So it was just a case of when Kitchenware... Exactly, when Kitchenware actually ended up signing us, we were more than ready to sort of go for it, which a lot of bands aren't nowadays because they get signed a little too early. Yeah. So we're almost like an American band in the fact that they have a chance to tour when they get signed, and they'll only release records when they're ready, especially when they reach the UK. So hopefully by the time we reach Europe, by August, September,
it'll be a slickly oiled machine.
Exactly. I hope so.
Ploughing our way through your beautiful countries.
Yeah. What kind of work did you do this before then?
I worked in a shoe shop, which was pretty demoralising. It's quite funny because we all lived together, and me and Ed worked together in the same shoe shop, and Tom and Russ worked together in the same call centre. So they're pretty kind of demoralising jobs, you know, just stupid hours and
in the evening making music and stuff.
Exactly, yeah. So it was like kind of about 18 hours a day working and
Well,
nothing much
finally,
doing anything
finally
else.
you see how it works, then. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, I think some of that frustration and boredom, the themes come across in some of the songs as well. The kind of trying to get off the treadmill, the mundanity of everyday life. So I think some of that comes across in the record.
Okay. I see the titles of the songs are pretty short. Is there a reason for, or is it just like one word for the song?
I mean, there's two ways of titling a song for us. One, it'll come from the lyric. It'll be very apparent, quick, you know, what it'll be called. Or if I can't think of anything from a lyric, sometimes just give something a name and not think about it too much. In the case there, one with editors, two with Munich and Bullets and maybe Fall even. Songs that just, I think, make great names for songs. Titles, great titles, I think, great names for songs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't think about it too much and you give something a name, after a period of time, the song will start to kind of absorb the name and become more than the meaning of the word ever was. I think of it like how owners look like their pets after a while, or people look like their names, and there's no reason why that. It just happens. So, I mean, there's a few one-worders in there, but they're generally the ones that are just like, bang, that's a good name for a song, that's a good name for a song. So.
Yeah. Even like songs like Fingers in the Factories, we just call that Fingers now.
Okay. So,
do you know what I mean? Yeah. We're just lazy, I guess.
Hey, when I hear your voice, there's sort of a melancholic sound in it too. Is there a reason for?
No, I mean...
Not a reason. Is it your style of singing then?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the way that... it's very hard to sing a happy song and sing it credibly and do that well. I think we're all fans of kind of darker music, and the themes that I'm singing about are generally the bigger themes, kind of like matters of the heart or the soul or love, life and death and things like that, in a very ambiguous way, but in a way to hopefully provoke thought from the listener and bring their own interpretations to the meanings of the songs, which is part of what music's about, in my opinion. Yeah. So it is about the bigger themes, and we're not particularly miserable people off stage or depressives or had troubles in our past. It's what happens when we get in a room together and try to make music at the moment. So maybe as things get better, we'll lighten up and become talking heads. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Hey, but what kind of subjects do you write about in your lyrics? For instance, like, let's have the first song, Lights.
I mean, like I said, my lyrics are all very kind of ambiguous, but Lights deals with kind of like the general insecurities of having something or losing something, that, you know, be it a relationship or whatever, and just the stuff that affects everyone, really. And just want to write things that are going to touch people and things like that. So they're not specific stories. They're not like certain chapters of my life that I've put into a song. They're general themes at the moment. So yeah.
Okay. Hey, about the recording, it sounds oldish. Like the instruments, is it because you're like a technical guy? More you all are because you have to. Is that right?
Kind of. I don't know. I mean, we wanted.
But did you use older microphones for things?
Well, first of all, it was recorded on Pro Tools, so it's kind of.
Not at all.
Well, it's digital, but you know, to a certain extent, we were using whatever sounded best. You know, for me, I was sort of like I use an old guitar, I use an old amp. And I use kind of analog equipment myself, personally. You know, there was one thing where we were using a really old electric 12-string guitar, and it was going through like a 70s Russian delay pedal, or like it was more like a box, which was chorusing and stuff. We like messing around with old instruments and old microphones and stuff. I don't know. I still think it sounds like a modern record.
Yeah, it is a modern record, but it looks like a bit of old-fashioned sound in it, so like old amps and stuff.
Like the warmer sounding sounds and things that are. I mean, I suppose we're kind of musos at heart somewhere, and we like the whole kind of idea, the ethos behind like vinyl recordings and the warmer sounds, and that comes across with the choice of equipment that you use. You're not going to see us with horrible, don't know, six-string basses or something like that. We're traditionalists when it comes to instrumentation, so that's probably what comes across what you're saying.
Also, they just look loads better as well. It's like a new guitar hasn't come out for the last 20 years, so why get one? You know.
I think your sound is inspired by 80s, like the old R.E.M. and the Talking Heads you talked about, and some other bands which I really like. But you're not like the same than all the other bands. Like the Kaiser Chiefs, the this, the that, the fuck.
I haven't heard of the fuck.
Yeah, the fucks are pretty cool.
Are they?
They go really loose sometimes. No, but you know what I mean.
I bet fucks are just better than just the.
I think it's really it just fits in, like when I said, like you're sounding like 10 years ago already. Like if you exist already 10 years.
I mean,
maybe
as far
20
as
years.
as far as our influences go, I mean, it's only in the last year that people have been saying putting us in the same bracket as those kind of 80s bands, and we've kind of come back and kind of bought their records and started enjoying them, like Crocodiles by the Burning Man for me, and like, a lot of the Joy Division stuff, and you know, and Talking Heads. But I think our music influences are more like kind of the First Strokes record got us into playing music again, like the Two Elbow records, as far as dynamics and literacy goes, was a big influence. The Walkmen, the way that they their intensity on stage and their energy as well, and they're very intelligent songwriters as well. I think we're not scared of having. I mean, it's cool to say that you're into bands from 20 years ago, but you know, I'd rather.
Yeah, it's cool now.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather be excited by a band that I can see tomorrow than a band that I can just listen to on an old vinyl.
For 20 years ago. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. What was the last record you bought?
Arcade Fire. That album's just blowing me away every day.
Okay, yeah.
Unbelievable record. I can't wait. We're playing on the same bill at a couple of the festivals over the summer, so I'm looking forward to see those guys.
Arcade Fire.
The Arcade Fire, yeah,
Okay.
just beautiful.
I know it from name, but don't.
Seriously, you just check that record out. It's
It
amazing.
just doesn't sound like anything at all, but they're a proper band. You know, they just kind of make really creative music, which doesn't sound like anything else. You just get the impression that they're doing exactly what they want to do and don't give a shit about anyone else.
Okay. Right.
So, you know, they're
That's
just...
a cool attitude.
Yeah, of course, of course. You know, it doesn't matter about scene or environment or anything. They're just doing...
Or hypes or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now we come to the hypes thing. What do you think about it? You know, England is always, every week there must be a new band coming up and it must be a #1 and it's a new hype. This is the best band forever.
We've done everything we can do to try and avoid that, but we understand that it'll...
I know you're the biggest band.
Well, I think we're separate from things like Block Pie and Kaiser Chiefs and Futureheads. They've kind of been bundled together, and I mean, all of their bands have their merits, and I like some more than others. But
The Block Party couldn't do anything about it because it just came on.
Yeah,
So
and
they picked them.
Yeah, they're a fantastically intelligent band, Block Party, and make really. It's not. I don't think it's pop music. I think it's really kind of inventive guitar music. I suppose pop in a very slight sense, but
Yeah, alternative pop.
yeah, we've done everything we can do, from choosing the label we chose to the way we've kind of been saturated into the press to try and avoid that. It's been very gradual. So I like to think when people get the album, they're not going to feel that we're sort of style over substance. I'd like to think there's more substance there than style. And you can't control it sometimes, but we've done everything we can to try and, you know, just pull it back a little bit. We don't want to be forced down people's throats. The last thing you want is for a magazine to say, this are the best new band on the planet, go and watch them, and then you're always going to be disappointed. You want people to find your band for themselves and discover them and decide for themselves that they like us.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't say it to journalists because they're spoiled as hell, you know. They've seen like loads of bands every week and then, oh, come on, the newest band, the best band, no way.
Yeah, it's way more satisfying, though, if you go and see the best new band or whatever, and then the support band.
Yeah, because everybody has his own own taste of music, so
yeah, exactly.
that would never happen.
Well, yeah, I just find it so much more exciting when you find a band for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the Walkmen, we're a band that we all really love, and
The Walkmen?
yeah, we found them whilst they were supporting a band called the Stills, which we were kind of fans of as well.
Okay,
But you know,
yeah.
it's just so much more satisfying. And we just try and stay away from the hype. I mean, as far as signing to an independent label goes, as far as to do a limited edition first release, and to sort of like maybe turn down a few things that we could have done.
But it can help your career. Yeah, sometimes.
It can help your career in the short term, without a doubt.
Yeah, for the
But
first
to be honest,
couple of months.
We're ready for the hype now, because we've sort of like we've bypassed the new band hype, and people kind of like know our names, but maybe they don't know enough about us. But now we're ready. We've done 2 tours. We're really confident in our live performance, and we've got a good album behind us. So we don't care what people say now.
Cool, that's a cool quote, man. You're right. Hey, but what's now the newest hype in England?
I think what, the band? Or?
Yeah, bands, yeah.
What's coming out?
Oh, I don't
Like
know.
on Enemy or in the
I
charts.
mean, Hardfire kind of getting a lot of attention.
Hardfire?
Hardfire.
Hardfire.
Like lo-fi.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
It's just kind of classic journalism that they're starting a scene again, you know. And the next scene is kind of like the special kind of ska business.
Oh, you're talking about music styles now.
Yeah. So it's like that's the new thing.
Hardfire?
They call it-
the band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're kind of like. I don't think they sound like the Specials at all, but you know, there's like the Ordinary Boys' next single has got a ska element in it, and bands like the Dead 60s
Okay.
are kind of doing stuff like that as well. So you know, they've jumped onto that scene now. So hopefully we'll sneak in the back door.
Yeah, there seems to be always a new band. I think I've read lots about a band called Be Your Own Pet. Apparently they're going to be
Be your own pet.
Be Your Own Pet from America, yeah.
They're like about a 17-year-old singer or something, 16, 17-year-old girl that sings and stuff.
But
So.
all these bands have to
They're
prove
all
themselves.
getting younger, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting older, you know.
Everyone's getting older.
I feel really
Okay.
old at 23 now, being in a band. It's like,
23.
yeah.
Oh man, I'm 30 already.
You don't look it.
No, I know, but I am, Okay, whatever. But thanks. Yeah, finally, that's good.
Moving on.
Hey, if you're not, I just wrote a question up. If you're going to a record store, what record for vinyl, what kind of record are you searching for then? Where you're aiming at?
So I don't understand the question.
When you're going into the record store with only like black vinyl, what record are you searching for then? Still for your collection.
Oh right, what if you could have any record on vinyl? What would you have?
When you see a record store, let me have a look. What kind of band are you searching for then for the first time?
I don't know.
You don't have one real cool band you want to have on vinyl?
Oh, I'd love to have Murmur by R.E.M. on vinyl. That would be beautiful. Their first record. That's my favourite ever album.
Okay.
That's a proper classic record.
I'd love to have Pet Sounds on vinyl as well by the Beach Boys.
All right.
I'm like a big fan of them, and so I've done dissertations on them and stuff.
Okay. Have you heard Smile already?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
And?
It's okay. I'm not blown away,
It's not Sgt. Pepper.
No, well, I don't think it was set out to be Sgt. Pepper, but
no, he was a bit afraid, isn't it, when it came out? When Sgt. Pepper came out, and he was almost supposed to bring it out.
I think, it's a shame that he didn't really get to finish it in the way that he could have done, and he wasn't really in the right frame of mind to do it. But I think Pet Sounds is the one for me.
Right, cool. What can we expect from you guys? What's going to be the next single here in Holland? For the first single?
I think the European one will be Munich. Will be our single. So.
Second song, okay.
Yeah.
Is it about Munich?
No, again, it's one of those ones with the it deals with the fragility of people, but the title is one of those snap ones like I was talking about earlier. It kind of grew to fit the name, but it's kind of indicative of our live approach, and there's a lot of energy there, and then we'll be touring here at the end of the summer, so we put everything we can do into playing live. It's about making that connection with people. It's about kind of inciting a reaction. So if you can get someone to move or be moved from our performance, we'll do everything we can to do that. So
hopefully it'll be a good introduction into the band as well, because it's one of our kind of if we had to encapsulate our sound in a song, then it's probably to a certain extent from maybe a pop sensibility. That's probably the one, because it's got
the record.
Yeah, I mean it's got a couple of different melodies in it which we like. We like some pop hooks. It's got a big chorus. It's got a kind of dance floor element. It's almost got a kind of aggressive punk vibe as well. So it's got a bit of everything.
Okay, can we expect you on Lowlands Festival? Probably.
We've been talking about this all
Yeah,
day.
talking about it.
So hopefully.
It's not
It will be
confirmed, but I think so. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's hope for it.
I hope so.
That's a great
We might just turn up and play anyway. Just pretend to be another band, kidnap this other band that no one's ever
kill
heard,
them.
and just play. Maybe kill them, yeah.
Bury them in and play on the stage.
We'll do a guerrilla gig in an ice cream van out the back. So
You heard it here first.
yeah.
Cool. Hope to see you soon, guys. Thank you very much.
No problem, mate.
Thank you.